When doing these questions, you should have your conversion sheet in front of you. You have one that looks similar to this. Okay. Remember, when you're doing your conversion factor, you're going to go want over have. So if you want feet, put feet on top, and you have inches, put inches on the bottom. Here's a couple of examples. So again, while you're doing this, make sure that you have your formula sheet in front of you. I'll grab one now. There are 3 conversions for us to try. The first one goes from the metric system to the imperial system, meters to yards. The next one goes from the imperial system, miles to kilometers or kilometers. So this is imperial to metric. And the last one is also imperial to metric. So here's the move. Okay. I am starting with meters, and I want to convert it to yards. So I write down 15 meters. I am going to multiply by the conversion factor. Now remember, I want yards and I have meters. Let's go to the sheet. And if we look at the middle box there, that's the one that goes, or it's going between imperial and metric. So I can see at the top of the middle box, it says 1 meter equals 1.0936 yards. So the question is, do I put the 1 on top and the 1.0936 on the bottom? Or do I flip it? Flip it. Look at the 1.0936 goes beside the yard, and the 1 goes beside the meter. What happens to the meters? They would cancel, and now I just have to multiply this out. Top by top, what's 15 times 1.0936? I get 16.404. 404. And what units are left? Yards. If I do bottom by bottom, it's like over 1. Do I need to divide this by 1? Okay. No. 16.404 yards divided by 1 is still 16.404. So my answer is 16.404 yards. 15 meters is 16.404 yards. That's why they call a meter stick a yardstick, because they're pretty close. Not quite the same. Everyone okay with that? That was going from the metric system or the international system to the imperial system. Part B goes from the imperial system to the international system, to the metric system. We're going to start with 29 miles. We're going to multiply. I want to get rid of the miles, so miles goes on bottom, and I want to keep the kilometers. Kilometers goes on top. If I look at the conversion factor, I'm looking in that middle box again. 1 mile, so the 1 would go on the bottom, is equal to how many kilometers? $1.6093. Perfect. What happens to the miles? I end up with 46.6697. And what would the units be on that? What's left? Kilometers. That's top by top. I just multiplied those numbers. Bottom by bottom. What's under the 29? Yeah, it's like this. 1 times 1. You don't even need to do this part. 46.6697 kilometers. That is my final answer. You could go 46.67 kilometers if you wanted to round to the nearest 100. Everyone okay with that? This is all review of what we did on Friday. Part C, 49 feet. I want to multiply that by my conversion factor. I want meters. I have feet. Again, we're looking in that middle box. But this time I have to place them a little bit differently. What do I put beside the meter, the M? What does it say? 1 meter is equal to how many feet? You understand why I put the 1 on top and the 3.2808 on the bottom? That's what the conversion factor is. That's what it tells me on my sheet, the formula sheet. And you'll get that conversion sheet on the test. Top by top, I end up with 49 meters. Bottom by bottom, there's a 1 under this, times 3.2808 is 3.2808. Remember, the feet are gone now. There's no feet left. What's 49 divided by 3.2808? I get 14.9354. I'll go 4 decimal places because that's what the other one's for. 14.9354. What would the units be? Meters. 14.9354 meters is the final answer. Straight up conversions, just like the sheet on Friday. Now we get into combining conversions with some topics or some concepts that we've done in the past. It says calculate the perimeter in inches. Okay? You can convert first, or you can convert in the end. It really doesn't matter. Okay? What does the perimeter mean? What's that word mean? What's the perimeter? What shape do I have in this question? It's a rectangle. It means that these two sides are equal, so this side would also be 12 feet. And this side down here would be what? The bottom would be equal to the top. You can go base by height. But when you're finding the perimeter, or you could call this the length and this the width, it doesn't matter. How do you, what do I mean by the perimeter? It's the distance around the outside. So P for perimeter. What do I add up? What do I do with the 12, 25, 12, and 25? Add them. You could just go 12 plus 25 plus 12 plus 25. P equals, that's 50 and 24, 74 feet. Some people use this formula. The perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, which is 2 times 25 plus 2 times 12, which is 50, plus 24, which is also 74 feet. Now they want to know the perimeter in inches. So what do I do with this right here to convert 74 feet to inches? I have feet. I want inches. So it's, remember, it's want over have. What's the conversion factor here? How many inches are there in 1 foot? 12 inches in 1 foot. 74 feet times 12 inches in 1 foot. The feet will cancel. And then I'm just going to go 74 times 12. That gives me 888 what? Inches. And that's my answer. Now I could have converted first. Okay, what I mean by that is I could have changed this to inches. So there's 12 inches in 1 foot. These would go away. That gives me 144 inches. I could do the same up here. 12 inches in 1 foot. These go away. 25 times 12 is 300. And if you go 300 and 300 here, that's 600. And then 144 and 144 over here, that's 288. What's 600 plus 288? 888 inches. Okay? So you can convert first if you like. Try this one on your own. Okay? It wants you to change or figure out the perimeter. So the distance around the outside. What kind of a shape is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal sides. Anyone know what you call a 6-sided figure? It's a hexagon. Nice. This is a regular hexagon because they're all equal. So give this a shot on your own. So here's the solution. Okay. I took the 16 yards. I multiplied it by 6 because each side is 16 yards. You could have also went 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16. Add those up, you get 96. And then if I want the perimeter in meters, I have to convert 96 yards to meters. The conversion factor is 1 meter is equal to 1.0936 yards. Want over have, the yards cancel. 96 times 1 is 96. 1 times 1.0936 is 1.0936. Divide these, you get 87.78. Know that you could have canceled. Sorry, you could have converted first. I could have went with 16 yards. And I could multiply it by 1 meter over 1.0936 yards. They go away. I end up with 16 over 1.0936, and this is meters. 16 divided by 1.0936. It gives me 14.6306. And then what would I do with that number? I'd multiply it by 6. And when I take 14.6306 and multiply it by 6, I get 87.7836 meters. Now, notice there's a slight rounding error if I convert first. If you are going to convert first, I would suggest going to 4 decimal places because that rounding error will be amplified when we get into area. Do you want to just wait till I do this example? Cool. So the next one talks about area. Here we go. It says calculate the area in inches. Yep. How do you find the area of, what shape is this? It's a triangle. What's the area of a triangle? Anyone remember? Base times height divided by 2. What's the base in this triangle? The base is 12. Which one's the height? The 9 or the 15? The 9. The 15 is the hypotenuse, and it doesn't really help me in this question. So when I go and find the area, I'm going to go 12 times 9 divided by 2. But keep in mind, this is centimeters times centimeters. It gives me 108 centimeters squared over 2, which is equal to what? Well, it's 108 divided by 2. 54 centimeters squared. Now I have to convert that to what? I want to calculate the area in inches. So here's the next problem. So step 1 was to find area. Step 2 is going to be to convert to inches squared, we'll say. When I do this, I have to go 54, that's what I have, centimeters squared. My conversion factor is, I want to go from centimeters to inches. I want inches. So let's look at the sheet for that one. It says 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. What's the problem there, though? Like, this is only centimeters to the power of 1. I'm going to have to square this. We do our exponents first. What's 1 inch times 1 inch if I square the numerator? Oh. Thanks, guys. Why doesn't someone speak up? I just realized my screen's frozen. Well, that's not very helpful. Here we go. If I square this, I'm going to get 1 square inch. If I square the bottom, 2.54 to the power of 2 gives me 6.4516. And that would be centimeters squared. And now we can see that these units will cancel these units. If I multiply top by top, 54 times 1 gives me 54 inches squared. And the bottom, 1 times 6.4516 is just 6.4516. Now I divide. 54 divided by 6.4516 gives me 8.37, and it's 0, 0. And that would be inches squared. That would be the area in inches. If I do that same question, but I convert first, as long as I go to 4 decimal places, my answer shouldn't vary too much. So here's what the question would look like if I converted first. So I have the same triangle. It's got a base of 12. Is it centimeters? 12 centimeters, 9 centimeters, and 15 centimeters. Step 1 will be to convert Now again, technically, you should do the area first, then convert. Just make sure to square your conversion factor, but I'll allow you to do it this way if you like. 12 centimeters. And I want to convert it to inches. I want inches, I have centimeters. Remember, 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Centimeters are going to go away. And that would tell me that the base is going to be 12 inches divided by 2.54. 12 divided by 2.54 gives me 4.7244. 4.7244 inches. I want to convert the height. The height is 9 centimeters. I'm going to multiply that by the same conversion factor. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. The centimeters will go away. I'm going to end up with 9 inches divided by 2.54 centimeters. Sorry, divided by 2.54. There's no centimeters left. They canceled. 9 divided by 2.54 gives me 3.5433. And that's inches. Step 2 is to figure out the area. And the area of a triangle is the base times the height divided by 2. The base was 4.7244. That's this number. It's inches. The height is 3.5433. That's this number. And I divide it by 2. Now remember, it's inches times inches. So 4.7244 times 3.5433. That gives me 16.73996,652. I divide that by 2, and I get 8.36998. That's going to tell me to bump this up to 8.3700, and it's inches squared. Remember, area is going to be units squared. Perimeter is just units to the first. Now, if you look or you compare these two, my answer is the same. The area in inches squared is 8.3700 inches squared. If you go to 4 decimal places, you should be okay to convert first. Yes, Carson? Why did I add the what? Oh, you don't need to. Like, I don't need these trailing zeros. I just said that, doing that to make sure that you go to 4 decimal places. Okay? Not really important here. Wouldn't mark it wrong, but just make sure that you're going 4 decimal places if you're converting first. Remember, if you do not convert first, you're going to have to go from centimeters squared to inches squared, so you'd have to square your conversion factor. Everyone okay with that? Apologize for leaving the screen frozen. Let's try and do that worksheet.